Welcome to After the Rain, a storytelling podcast from Playa Lakes Joint Venture. These are the voices stewarding the land and the stories that surface after the rain. In Labette County, Kansas, where Labette Creek braids through prairie and cropland, two landowners took a leap into uncharted territory. In 1994, Max and Eweleen Good enrolled in the first Wetland Reserve Easement in the state, a voluntary program of the USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service.
There was an article in an Audubon newsletter telling about the Wetland Reserve Program, and I immediately called the number, and people came, and we got right after it. It was Wetland Reserve Program number 1.
Their easement is 10 acres, about 6 of it open water, set inside a 40-acre home place they've shaped for education and biodiversity.
This is open to schools and anyone who wants to see what luck we've had at it.
The Goods didn't tiptoe in. They charged forward. No blueprint, no president, just conviction. Was it kind of scary being the first in uncharted territory, being the very first in Kansas?
Not a thought. Any program that we can do some good on that'll fit on the property, we do it.
Wetlands do quiet work, slowing runoff, settling sediment, and soaking water back into the ground. But they also create a brand new edge, shoreline, where life explodes.
I always tell everybody a wetland keeps the water from leaving your property, and then you can use it at a much longer time, and it attracts things over a great period of time. And it makes for a new environment, too, because there's a shoreline, and you go from dry land to aquatic. There's a shoreline in between that's really high in biodiversity. We've studied this quite a bit.
The results were immediate and astonishing. Species list soared. Migration days turned spectacular.
We keep a species count for this property, except for insects. There's too many of those.
We have seen some things come up around the wetland that we don't have elsewhere on the property. And so that has been a plus.
Oh, the number of species probably doubled on the place. From, reptiles and amphibians and ducks and geese and we're kind of amateur botanists too. And all kinds of wetland species just showed up. And a big migration stop, and sometimes with thousands of ducks on it.
Conservation at their place snowballed. After the wetland was enrolled, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service partnered with them on 10 additional acres of native prairie restoration, recognized among the best in Kansas with 200-plus species established.
Not everybody has access to the education that going through the process of getting a wetland and then inviting people to come see it, come see what it's done, that's very educational. And it's important to Kansas's future on animals and plants.
And we're creating habitat rather than destroying habitat. Everybody always sees land as a profit thing and plants stuff on it or runs cattle on it or something. A lot of species are disappearing.
Their love of wildlife runs deep, even lobbying for the Alaska Lands Act, and they've turned years of observing their own place into a showpiece publication.
We even wrote a book about the place.
Over 600 pictures, 308 pages.
Over 7,000 pictures were taken over 4 years to do this book.
He does the photographs, and he wrote most of this because he wanted to. I actually used to teach English and journalism. So I did all the layout and design. We sold out in 2 months. And we only had 200.
For Max and Eweleen, this was never about profit. It's about doing their part and inviting others into the work.
We're not totally against the farming. It's just that if they can put a little bit in conservation.
Their advice to landowners on the fence?
It's a better use for the land than just sitting there. You're going to get a lot of biodiversity and a lot of migratory stops, and you're going to save what water would have ran off your property that sinks into the ground. Recreation's a big one. It's wildflower walks, aquatic studies. I just changed my route of education. And we're not going to save the world, but we did our part.
From Labette County, Kansas, home of the state's first NRCS Wetland Reserve Easement, this is a story of two pioneers, a small wetland, and a big invitation to learn.